bet the only thing it said didn't suck.
Well, and I think we could all agree on that. Having said that, I mean, I don't know. That's where we ramp it up. Go. Stranger Things.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
It was. I was going to go watch one episode, and I binged all 8 in a night. I just said I have to know what's happening next. No episode was so dry or so boring that I thought I'll finish it later. Couple of down ones, but even the down ones weren't bad. They're just right. It was just good. And I mean,
agreed.
You know, I think it works. It especially works for people that grew up watching all the movies from the 80s. You know, I mean, huge Goonies.
Exactly like a 80s horror movie.
I don't even know that I call it horror.
Scary. It wasn't really. No, it wasn't. But it had the elements that were kind of supposed to be. But it had enough. It had enough comedic value that kind of offset it.
Yeah, and there's plenty of good stuff. I mean, it was creepy. Plenty of creepy parts, and definitely there are a couple parts that would be considered that would walk that horror line, especially for a movie of that era. Anything in the what they call it, the underneath, the upside down. Anything that was in the upside down, like that was genuinely creepy and well done, and you know, it was great use of like set reuse. I mean, from a movie making standpoint. So I mean, it just worked. You know, the characters were great, the casting was great. Like these are kids that, like, if you grew up in 80s and 83, if you were in grade school, you had those clothes, you had those bikes. You knew kids, like every single one of them. You knew all of it.
Yeah.
It was haircuts,
it was perfect.
Every aspect of it, from top to bottom, looked like it was straight out of the 80s. It was perfect in that aspect.
Yeah,
even the opening credits looked like something you would have seen in an 80s horror movie.
Which I actually have looping right now on the stream. But yes, absolutely, they're perfect. And I think Burk is going to go right there. Go for it.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead, because you're the one that made me watch the thing on it.
So, in case anyone didn't automatically recognize the font from Stranger Things, the opening credits, it's the font that's used on all the Stephen King books.
Aha.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the original printings,
familiar.
Right? So, the ones from the 70s, whatever, that were written, the big hardbacks. But I mean, yeah, it's technically it's a slight modification to that font, but not enough to where if you're not like a print design artist, like you would never notice. You would look at that and go, "That's Stephen King books." Now, my roommate came down once and said, "Oh, that's the font they used on D&D books," which I think it's similar, but I didn't play D&D growing up, so I couldn't say. But it reminded me of the Stephen King books. So, and rightfully so, it turned out. But yes, I mean, and then in addition to that, all the little things in the movie, like the movie posters in different areas of the show, and some people's rooms or walking around town.
All sorts of little throwbacks to good 80s stuff. There's an Evil Dead poster at one point in someone's room.
Yeah. In the older brother's room, there's an Evil Dead. There's a Jaws poster somewhere else. There's a the All the Right Moves was playing.
Business. All the Right Moves. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Well, Risky. So there was Risky Business when they were talking about the older sister and the jock boyfriend. He was like, "Oh, you want to go see Risky Moves and do the thing or whatever."
They did make a.
And then All the Right Moves was in. That was the name of the movie playing on the movie theater marquee, where they spray painted the slander on the girl for it. So I mean, two movies right there. Plus, just the visual representation. Like, there's a scene that is, it's ripped out of Stand By Me, where the four of them are just walking down the train tracks. Like, that's the whole movie, Stand By Me, essentially, which is awesome.
Well, how about them running from Mike's house with all the kids on damn bikes while they're being chased by the government agency. I mean, that's
E.T.
that's straight out of ET.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we should give a
they did all
spoilers
that.
warning in case anybody's listening and haven't seen it, because we're probably going to start getting into plot aspects here. So,
That's all right.
spoiler: we're going to talk about everything from this point on.
Yeah. Storyline spoilers. You know what? I should create a big spoilers graphic and put it up on the stream sometime. But some other time I'll do it. But
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, just so much of it, right? So, I mean, after 2 episodes, the movies that came to mind to me were Poltergeist and Goonies. Like that was the first two,
absolutely
huge,
Goonies.
right? So Goonies because the kids solving the thing, whatever, and all their little underground stuff. Poltergeist for obvious reasons, alternate reality with the electro, static communication, whatever. What was the other one? There was a third one that came in real late.
Firestarter got to me.
See, I probably
You
should.
can't tell me you didn't see Firestarter in that.
Well, I can tell you that I don't remember enough of Firestarter to be able to make that because I just don't remember.
Her dad, same power, could move things with his mind, and would always get a nosebleed. Drew Barrymore's father.
I knew Drew was in it, but I really I don't remember it. I didn't read the book.
And same kind of thing, the way that her father and her mother was Heather Locklear in Firestarter. They were government test subjects for a new type of drug.
Nice.
And that's what I think. She got a placebo, or they both got it or something, and then they had the kid, which is how Firestarter came about. But his side effect from taking the drug was that he could move things with his mind, but every time he did, bled out the nose, got weak, exactly like our 11.
Right.
I mean, almost as soon as I saw it, I went, oh my God. I just happened to watch Firestarter quite a bit when I was younger because I really kind of got into it and liked it.
Yeah, I probably should just go ahead and make a point of watching Firestarter again. Because it's, like I said, it has been a very long time, and I don't remember it. I really don't remember anything of it.
Trying to think of who was. I'm trying to think of what else her father was in. I know I've seen him before. I cannot remember his. I can picture his face. But I cannot remember his name for some reason.
Yeah, I got nothing. Got nothing for that. I'd have to go look it up.
Right, that should do it.
Sorry, I'm fighting a pirate right here. That's why I kind of went quiet.
It's alright. I'm playing Tomb Raider.
They actually followed me down in No Man's Sky. They actually followed me down to the planet. I'm actually fighting right above the treetops, which was kind of neat because they move a lot slower.
Nice.
It would make it a lot easier.
Okay.
I had them do that to me once, and when I landed, they kind of flew over me and then left. So if you got to bail out, just land and run away from your ship.
bail out and run away.
I felt like there was a little bit of a throwback to Jaws, just in how they delayed actually showing the monster for so long. It reminded me of Jaws, how they delayed showing the shark
I can't believe the
until
hissy
like
fit
the
he
last
threw
third
during
of
the
the
photo
movie.
shoot. I mean,
See,
this
that's
is
what I really
John,
think.
right?
With
It's not like
with
he's
the
offering
attempt to
anything
make
the
it
actual
scarier,
research part of this
because
expedition.
something you don't
Once we
actually
find
get
the
to
Alma
see
the cameras are rolling.
tends to
See,
be a
that's
little
what
bit
I
more
think
terrifying.
they're geniuses. They blended so much crap into it that everybody's going to see things different, but everybody's
Oh
going to
yeah.
see something. You know, that's what makes it so unique and pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well,
and also,
and-
that's a thing, too, because Alien did that as well.
Yeah.
And it did it, probably, in my opinion, one of the best ways that it's ever been done is the way Alien did it.
Oh,
As
yeah,
far
sure.
as the little bits here and there, it's just outstanding. Super creepy. But yeah, I guess I didn't even put that together because I just kind of expect that when you have like creature movies, and when people just present them to me, I get a little annoyed. So it didn't stand out as whatever. But no, that's a good point, though.
I mean, but for the most part anymore, they do just kind of throw it out pretty early. I mean,
Yeah.
the most recent monster movie I could think of that they didn't would have been Cloverfield.
Which I have not seen yet. It's on my list.
And I've seen bits of it, but wasn't impressed enough to actually give it a go.
Well, you also quit after 10
it's
minutes.
It's not a great movie.
No, I wouldn't think it is.
It's not a great movie by any means. Really, the only thing I really liked about it was how they portrayed the monster. They're trying to instill this fear in you, and you know it's something enormous, but all you're getting are little glimpses and pieces. You can see its foot moving as it turns down a street or things like that. You never actually get to see the whole thing until the very end, and still at the very end, it's out of focus.
Oh, that's fucking lame.
That's another thing I was going to tell you, John. I think this is what I was trying to remember the other day. They're remaking Blair Witch, or not remaking,
Yes.
but a sequel.
Another
So-
one? There's already 2 sequels
The
that are
brother-
fucking
Yeah, but
horrible.
this one's actually
this
going to be
one's
done
actually
right.
supposed to be good. Yeah.
It looks like it's done right. It's about the brother, which is what it should have been. The brother going looking for the sister from the first one. So,
But
I can get on board with you, though. Why in the world do they need to do another Blair Witch?
I mean, Blair Witch only worked. It only worked one time.
It worked because there was nothing quite like that then. That started the whole found footage idea.
Okay.
44 slot shit for $54 million.
What are you going to the store for?
Blair Witch was also one of the first ones that you didn't know if it was real or not. They marketed it as it was real found footage, and they actually made up the dummy website before you had anything, so that you go out and the website had a whole background on the town and the witch, and you actually didn't know. It was the first movie I ever watched pirated. Somebody actually got a copy out on the web, and we watched it, and it was such poor quality that all of us huddled around this little monitor trying to watch this thing, and it was grainy, even grainier than what it was, made it even more scary
Later.
because you just couldn't. It was like, one of those things where, is it real? Could this really be real? What the hell is this? Did they really find this in the, are we really watching something? So
The marketing for the Blair Witch back then was really outstanding. I mean, it did such a great job. until there was one thing where somebody found that the lead actress had been in a Steak and Shake commercial sometime prior to the movie's release, but I guess it wasn't a widely distributed commercial, so it wasn't too much of a deal. But yeah, it was great. I mean, we went and saw it. First couple of weeks it was out, like, holy crap, this is amazing, blah blah. And then of course the questions started coming, like, well, how is it found footage? Who's going to just show up at the random place and all this kind of stuff? And then you start picking it apart, how definitely certain scenes didn't feel natural, like it felt like they kind of had to say some of these things. The example that always sticks out to me is when the guy gets frustrated and confesses that he threw the map away, but it is such a, I need to come up with something to say on the spot, so I just got mad and I kicked that map into the river or whatever he says, something dumb, but it feels really fake. But but it's still, it was creepy as all get out. It spooked the hell out of me for a whole time. And at the time I was living in an apartment in the woods, and so like when I got back home it was perfect and the power was out and it was amazing. I was like, I could not believe it. And so like there's raccoons like clawing at the door and I was freaking my shit out. And but it was, power came back on, it was all good. But it's yeah, super fun. But yeah, I can't believe they're going to remake that, because nobody believes found footage movies anymore. Even
it's actually a sequel though, and I don't know if they're doing it found footage.
I don't know if it's found footage.
Check out the trailer.
I'll have to look at it.
It is.
But like when Paranormal Activity came around a few years back, first one of those, like it was an absolute, hey, we're going to try the Blair Witch thing again, right? It's all in-home surveillance footage. It's supposed to be found footage kind of stuff. And it's just, okay, it has its creepy moments, but still, in this day and age, anybody that had seen Blair Witch was already skeptical. And then they did it again with...
it wasn't found footage. I mean, didn't Cloverfield come out before Paranormal Activity? Cloverfield was a found footage movie too.
Yeah, it was.
Which is pretty, they're blowing up New York at one point. It's pretty obvious that's
right.
Not real.
Not found footage, right.
And I don't remember much from Paranormal Activity really trying to reinforce the idea that it was real. That said, I do remember watching it at 3 o'clock in the morning in the dark.
Yeah.
And not being totally thrilled with that decision.
Yeah. I mean, the movie worked. It did what it's supposed to do, but it was predictable. But that was, to me, somebody who'd already seen a bunch of stuff. Now, to the generation that had never seen something like that before, I'm sure it worked wonders, which is why they made 4 more movies. But, still, it is what it is. But what did I watch not that long ago? The Fourth Kind. It's another one of those. It's based on real events. They have real audio recordings from real interviews from people that this happened to. So they have this intermixed. Some of it's real, some of it might not be. Not really sure what's what. It was creepy. I'm not going to watch it again. I don't remember it being that good, but I remember it being creepy enough to where, okay, I don't need to see that again. I saw it. We're good. Not going to buy it. But yeah.
Huh.
But anyway, back to Stranger Things.
Sorry, we did digress.
Yeah, we did. And that's fine. That's conversations go. Where do we leave off? So yeah, that's why we talked about the introduction of the monster thing. Thought it was a relatively unique monster design. I'm not sure I really would have signed off on the monster design, because I don't feel like a creature like that would exist in that realm. Like, it didn't seem to have any sort of relation to its surroundings being built the way it was.
Sure. The design of the monster so much did not bother me as the implementation of the monster. Once you can finally get a good look at it, the CGI on it was very poor.
Considering
that upset
the
me more
budget.
than the actual looks of the monster was how extremely unrealistic it looked. I mean, it reminds me throwing like the first Resident Evil movie in on my Blu-ray and watching that. Like how bad the CGI is just sticks out like a sore thumb. This day and age, that shouldn't be the case.
That's interesting. I don't remember feeling let down by the CGI of the monster, but maybe that's just because I wasn't
On the fence.
expecting something like that. I mean, I know it's a Netflix series. I know that there wasn't a whole lot of money thrown behind it. I feel like it did what it needed to do. I don't feel like it was as bad as like
You sound like my
what
father.
was that movie with Bruce Willis
I'm not
when they
saying it's a
CGI'd
deal
the
breaker by
face?
any means, and it doesn't make me like the show any less, but it was definitely a disappointment.
Not if we don't live to tell it.
Yeah, I think I was too upset with just the design, the four flap face with the turbine teeth all the way
Angry flower
down.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see something like that in some.
It's like a pissed off walking Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I mean, like if it had just been the flaps on the face and whatever, but then by the end of it, we see that the rows of teeth go all the way down through the back of the throat, down the throat, like the Sarlacc pit. Like it just doesn't seem
like the Sarlacc pit.
right. It just doesn't. I mean, unless the teeth move and that's how it pulls the food down through the thing, it just didn't seem like it made any sense. Like some kid drew this and thought this is really scary. Let's turn it into something
Well, I
real.
mean, yeah. If we want to start getting into that, the whole design of it is that whatever it eats is going to be whole. How is it actually taking bites out of stuff, which it, did.
Right. It took bites out of stuff. And then also if it grabbed things and like was instantly, well, maybe not. I guess that doesn't actually apply. But I mean, if it grabs things with its face, I don't know.
So what I believe, I've been racking my mind trying to figure out how they were going to come up with the second season, because from
The
2 or 3
bowl,
episodes
the
into it, I'm
candles.
sitting here going,
Why
okay, I
is she
really
still
like
being
the
worshipped?
premise, but I see one of 2 things happening. Either
The Lost Kingdom.
It's like
they're going to resolve it at
But
the end of the
this is
first
real,
season,
Dr. Whitman. We're not
which is
standing
what
on a
you're really
myth.
hoping to see. But then I don't know how they're going to take it forward for another season.
Your friends are hurt.
Or they weren't going to
Why
resolve
then?
it and they're going to try and continue dragging it on and on and on and on, which is just be aggravating as hell.
You still have a gun.
I don't
What
want any trouble. We'll come.
what I've decided
But I
after
insist
finishing
that
it
afterwards
is
you
that
take
there's
us
2
to
ways they're
whoever's
going to
in
go.
charge.
Which,
What are you
I'm
doing?
pretty sure they're not going to go this
I'm
way,
handling
and that
this. No!
they could just go off and pull like an American Horror Story type deal and do a completely different story with different characters in each
Just
season.
go along with them, Laura.
I don't think that's what they're going to do.
Do whatever they say.
I think they're going to start playing off. You notice that at the very end of the last episode, Will goes off in the bathroom. He's hacking and coughing. And he hacks up that slug down the kitchen
Who are you
sink
people?
or down the bathroom
What's
sink,
going
or whatever.
Laura!
There was a point where you see Barb's body
Please.
in the upside down, and one of those things is crawling out of her mouth. So it seems to me like the next season is going to be playing off of how the thing was basically a face hugger out of Alien, and he's impregnating him with some crap.
You did see a pod.
You did see a
Yeah,
pod.
there was like an egg type thing. Yeah,
There's absolutely a pod. There was absolutely the face hugger thing with when they find the kid and they pull that big tendril out of his throat.
Yep.
So you have that. So there, and then when he did cough up that slug, it for a moment, flipped over to the upside down world, and he kind of came back from that. But even after, actually, I guess it was a little before that. The sheriff goes out to the woods and he brings some food, and then they make real. Holy shit! My character just got killed because I was talking, and in a worst way. Holy crap! The character just actually fell through a stone wall. Nice. Anyway,
The sheriff goes out to the woods and proves that 11 is still alive, basically.
Right. Yeah, so there's
Which